This review is going to be on the Panasonic HC-W580 video camera. I am filming this right now with a Panasonic HC-V550 camera, which has been very good to me, but it's a few years old and I'm having some problems with the focus right now. So I purchased this camera online. The nice thing about the V550, and the same thing with this camera, the thing that I really love the most, is the 90X. Now, on my older camera, it has a 3000X, which is absolutely worthless. The advantage of the 90X is you get incredible zoom. Most of the cameras out there right now are about 40 or 50X, and that's good, but believe me, the 90X is just incredible. The 150X that I'm able to get with the older Panasonic is also very good. When you get to 3000X, it's worthless because the tripod is not going to matter. You're not going to get a good picture at all. Alright, let's open this thing up right now and see what comes in the box. Probably, just like the older versions, you get a manual, a nice manual. What else does this come with? Wow, I was worried for a second that there was nothing in the box. Okay, here's the camera. I wish I could show you my old camera, but I've got reviews online if you want to see it. What do we have? It feels, I'm tapping on my older camera, which feels kind of cheap, but this feels about as cheap as can be. They could not have made the case any cheaper. It's got a much bigger, I don't know what this thing is. I'm not sure what this is yet. The battery goes over here. This is going to be the start button to record. This is going to be its volume, and it's also zoom, wide, and telephoto. This button over here, like the old camera, is to take photographs. The battery attaches in here. Comes with a tripod. Your memory card will go into here. It has a strap like the older version. Slide thing over here to plug in your AC adapter. The AC adapter is good. It plugs into a cable which goes to USB, and that USB cable is also used to transfer your files. You could go in there and pull out your SD card, but I don't know, if you want to go a little faster, yes, but not a big issue. What else comes in the box besides this? Let's see, probably not much else. We've got the cable. Looks like a very heavy-duty, thick cable. That's because this is HDMI. What do we have here? Maybe we have an HDMI cable, and we also have a... okay, so we've got HDMI over there. And your output. Let me check the output here and see if we have a bigger... Okay, so that's an HDMI connector over there, and there is the USB and the power connections. And then we've got your standard things for Wi-Fi and HDR, and to go between your recording mode and your playback mode, which you can play back on the screen if you want. There's the battery release, audio-video connector. Okay, so we're coming along pretty good. There shouldn't be much. There should only be two other things in here, I would think. Well, that's kind of odd, an empty bag. Why do we have an empty bag? We have an empty bag because the AC adapter was in there, and that is the USB connection that will plug into your cable, and then the other side will plug into the camera. And there we have here the USB power up in the computer, or you can plug it into the AC adapter part, and then that will plug into the power jack of the camera. And we have the battery in a little sack over here. And we've got one more thing in here. What do we have here? We've got strictly the USB to power. So it looks like we have a lot of cables. You can plug this into your computer, into the USB port, and just plug this in to do your video transfers. And then you can keep this plugged into the wall. Where is that? Keep this plugged into the wall, keep this plugged in, and you can power up your camera. When you run low on battery power, it's really nice because this camera will allow you to record while you are plugged into AC. For those who want to know, it is compatible for Mac with iMovie and Final Cut. If you would like to know what you can use for memory cards, this is it right here. You can go way, way, way up. Look at that, 128 gigabyte, which would cost a fortune, and your battery would probably die out way before then. 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabyte is probably a reasonable thing for video. And one other feature that I want to show you that's really neat about this camera, and why one of the reasons I bought it, because it's definitely a cool upgrade, is when you open up the door. I haven't set this up yet, but when you open up the door, you can see over here this little piece, and when you spin this out, there's another lens over there. So the idea behind this is that you can record. You see what we've got here? You've got two different lenses, so you can record with the main lens and also spin this in whatever direction you want to get two recordings. After you install your memory card and you boot up, you're going to get menus that you can change all the settings on for the date, the time, what type of format you want to record in. Hopefully you can see that the screen is fairly responsive to finger touch. And you have options for manual settings, or there's the IA or the IA Plus. The Plus allows you to do color balance and brightness balance manually if you want to. And if this works like the old camera, you should be able to just press the button to get the menu. Yeah, there's a lot of settings. This is the main thing that I look for. There should be two icons on here. Set up and record. So set up display, how long you want the display to be on there, the clock set, world time, wing clock to daylight savings time, zoom, date format, if you want it month, day, year. I've already set the date. If you want the zoom, record on the display, OIS on the display. Economy battery. I think economy battery is that when you open up the this part of the thing, the camera, the viewer, then it will start up. It will take a little bit of time to boot up, and if it uses less battery, if you don't keep the economy battery on, then the thing is running all the time, and the minute you open it up, everything's already booted up and ready for you to press record. Quick power on, I don't remember what that is, but you can find that. Power LCD, so just the basic settings that you're gonna want to look at. Format media, I just put the media in here, so I'm going to format it. No, I don't want to format it because obviously I'm setting everything for the first time. This is the recorder setup, or the record setup, and it's got the same settings that the old camera had. The eye zoom off, which you just don't have any zoom. The intelligent zoom, or 90x, which I said is what I normally use. 150 is good, but you can't really use more than 150. 3000x is just ridiculous. It's a nice selling format, but it's kind of foolish. Record format. I record an MP4 for YouTube. 1080 is nice, but it takes forever to render on the internet, and you really can't notice that much of a difference. At least I can't. So I go with 720. And let's see what other options we have. Face framing, okay, that's for zooming and I think facial recognition. Level shot, a little thing that tells you goes up and down like that to let you know if you're level. Grid lines, guidelines, annoying, but sometimes you want it. AGF, I forget what that is for, telemacro. Okay, so at least you get an idea of what the options are for this. Mic level, this does not allow an external microphone. The internal microphone is good, but it is definitely directional. Okay, I'm going to open this up, and when you boot up for the first time, it shows how much time you have on there for battery and how much time you have for recording. And down on the bottom you've got your date, and at the top it shows what format. That's the IA that I told you about, and if you press over here you get your menu. And let me go back up to the setup. So this, I told you before, was the additional camera, which you can use for a selfie mode. If you record with this will only work if the display is open. If the display is closed and you're doing a recording, you're not going, which you can do, you're not going to be able to use this thing. The door needs to be open to be able to use the second camera, the sub camera. And once you record, both of them are saved in a file. The sub video and the screen video are saved in the same file, and you cannot delete the sub video. You have to use both videos. They're both saved in one file. And supposedly when you open up the sub camera, you'll get a display on the screen and you will see both videos at the same time. The sub camera will also not work if you have the door tilted. Let me show you. If you have the door tilted like this, it won't work. I want to see what happens when I move out this sub camera that they talk about. So, okay, so I've got my finger over it so that you don't need to see my face. But what do we get here? Okay, I've got it to the side. Let me try to get, oh, that's really neat. Look at that. That's pretty awesome.